Ethics of mechanical engineering pertaining to warfare.
Sorry, can you use the microphone? I let Ray get away with it because he has a very strong voice, but I can't really hear you. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Yay!
Okay, mechanical engineering is a discipline that encompasses anything that moves. These engineers work with thermodynamics, material science, and control automation, and many other related subjects. It is for this reason that in a period of war, mechanical engineers are called to the ground to design weapons and machines to help defend their country and defeat the other country. It is argued that the research and development of designing weapons can often conflict with modern-day code of ethics that engineers strive to uphold. After a series of engineering disasters in the early 20th century, 3 of 4 founding engineering societies implemented the code of ethics. Engineers and Geoscientists of BC, or as they prefer to be known, ABC, adopted its own version of the code of ethics in 1991. Engineers working within their respective countries' military-industrial complex may face ethical dilemmas when designing or researching new weapons. Principle 1 of APC Codes of Ethics states that they hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public, the protection of the environment, and promote health and safety within the workplace. This principle is incredibly important in the Code of Ethics as it overrides all other principles in the code.
So, in case you guys don't know what our poster looks like. Why not? All right, so as Alden's graciously introduced to you guys, we're speaking about mechanical engineering pertaining to warfare, and we're talking about the first principle in the Code of Ethics, which is the principle that pertains to public safety. And as Alden mentioned, this is the one that pretty much overrides all the other ones. So we've kind of just stuck to that specific principle and elaborated on it. So we've done kind of a bit of a case study on the Manhattan Project that happened in the late 1930s, early 1940s in the US. But this also kind of goes with a lot of other aspects of weapon development. So essentially, what was the ethical dilemma that these engineers were facing? So when the Manhattan Project, in case you guys aren't aware, was the development of the atomic bomb. So they're building a weapon that can potentially kill thousands of people, right? And now you're responsible for creating a weapon that could do that, but you're also unaware of what the potential consequences will be when this thing actually explodes, the safety of radiation in test sites and all this nonsense. So they had to sit down and kind of figure out, is this worth it or not? So basically the course of action that these engineers took. So it was Albert Einstein and Enrico Fermi that were kind of running the whole thing. And interestingly enough, they were both scientists and engineers that came from Axis powers. So Enrico was from Italy and Albert was from Germany. And they both came to the US, and they were afraid that if the Axis powers landed themselves with this weapon, with the destructive force of this weapon, that it could change the course of the war. So they suggested that they build it for the Americans to try and keep it safe, I suppose. That didn't work out because espionage, but. So the course of action they took was they had to weigh the responsibilities of developing this atomic weapon. And when exploring the ethics of it, they realized that, like I was mentioning, they had the choice. Either the other guys build it or they build it. So they figured it was better if they built it, had the weapon, and used it to end the war, as opposed to letting the enemy have it. Get out of here. And, so again, all this is a simple case study, but can be used with pretty much most of the modern weapon development nowadays. Thank you for listening.